I know a lot of you are probably tired of hearing about it, but today you're still going to learn something new that you did not know about the 1982 small date and large date Lincoln wheat cents. I'm going to teach you some things you do not know. So stay with me. My name is Daniel and you're watching Coin Help You. Thanks for watching my latest video. I appreciate every one of you for joining in every day and watching what I put out, or sometimes in the evenings. It is greatly appreciated. I want everyone to know that. But I want to share something with you guys. I see a lot of 1982 posts, and people are asking if it's a large date or if it's a small date, actually. Well, no, the 1982D, small date, is not supposed to be on a 3.1 gram planchet. The rest of them are, but not the small date with the D mint mark. So if you find one, it's rare, but only 2 have been found, even though hundreds of people think they find it all the time. I see it in the comments, I see it over in the groups and in my community, but it's only the 1982D small date on a 3.1 gram planchet. It's a bronze planchet, to call it copper, but it's got to be that 1982D small date with a D mint mark. I say it more than once because I want to kind of ingrain that, because that's very important, but that is so rare. 2 of them have been found and no other has been found. So the odds are so astronomically against you finding it. But there's some information that some of you don't know about the 1982D small date and large date that's going to hurt you if you don't know it. That is going to hurt your search for actual valuable coins. But I say that with all seriousness here. I want to show you some things first. So I want you to notice these 2 coins. Now, a lot of people are looking at the date or the 2. They focus on the 2, and if the 2's damaged, they want to say, is it large date or small date? I can't tell. I see that so much. But it's also other areas of the coin. It's almost the entire coin itself. Because if you look at both of these, but there are other differences in a large date and a small date that you need to know about. First off, we know that the 8, and this is a small date, the 8 is smaller opening, okay, than down here. It's more even. Both openings are almost the same. But what you don't realize is when you get in a little bit closer, even the 9 is thicker. Look at the Liberty. Look at the In God We Trust, and then go up to the small date and look at the same thing. See it? It's thinner. What the difference is, there are differences in fonts in the letters and in the numbers. They use a different font case. In other words, a different style of letters and a different style of date. That is very important, but that's not the only important things here. I know some of you will be like, I know this. You're doing another video on the 1982. Bear with me, because there's more to come here. But literally, if you're looking at the In God We Trust and the Liberty and the 1 and the 9 on a small date versus a large date, you can see the difference. It's fatter, it's thicker, and even the way the bust is. The bust has like more intricate, or at least finer details. It's not the same design. Can you see what I'm talking about here? Now I know we've got different lighting, and I'm sure there's some that are similar or whatever, but the main thing is, though, there are more differences than just that 2 and just that 8. That's what I want to tell people. Now for the stuff that some of you might not know or should know. So we go over here to PCGS's price guide. And for the large date, there's a double die. And that's for the bronze planchet. That weighs 3.1 grams. Look how much it's worth. And then you have one also for the small date. This is a double die reverse. This is on a copper-plated zinc planchet. They call it zinc right here. $3,000. How many of you knew that there is an extremely rare double die reverse for the small date on a copper-plated zinc planchet How many? Because this is rare. You have a better chance of finding this, though, than a 1982D small date on a 3.1 gram planchet. This is one of them that you want to look for. We are going to focus in on it a little bit better and see the double die. You can see it in the E pluribus unum. You can see in the thickness of the D and the E. This is one you should be looking for. Now, that's not all. So everybody knows about the large date bronze with the DDO and Obverse. Now you know about the small date, which has got a really rare reverse double die. That you have a better chance of finding this one, this double die reverse, and this double die obverse than you do the 3.1 gram 1982D small date. That I keep saying 1982D small date. It has to be the 1982D small date on a 3.1 bronze planchet. I'm going to tell people that it's very important. It has to have that D. It can't just be a small date. It can't just be a D with a large date. It has to be that small date with a D. Anyways, I am trying to pound that into people's heads. But what I also want you to see is that something else that you have a better chance of finding is a mint state 68 example of one of these. Look how much they're worth in red. $425 for a 1982 large date. And no mint mark means Philadelphia mint. Philadelphia Mint did not put mint marks on these. And some of these were struck at the West Point Mint, and they didn't put mint marks on these. You can't tell the difference. They're the same dies that came from the Philadelphia Mint, but they were just struck at the West Point Mint. So then you have a 1982D small date bronze. If it's 68, it's $4,350. And then come down here to these here are the copper-plated zinc ones, examples. These are very difficult to find in the higher grades, but look at that, 68, look at 69, $15,000 for a small date, 1982 Philadelphia, which does not have a mint mark. Now, that's hard to find, 69, no 70s. Then there's the 68, 375, and 425. So folks, this was something that so many people are worried to death about whether it's a large date or a small date or what it weighs, that they are going to literally overlook and probably have overlooked this right here. I mean, this is just important. You don't hear anybody talking about it. I don't know when the last time, or I remember any time that somebody has actually got in the group and said, is this a 1982 copper-plated zinc planchet with a double die reverse? I don't think I've had anyone ask that question. So yes, you need to know this information. It is very important because there are other things to look for that you have a better chance of finding. I don't tell anyone not to weigh their coins. Weigh them. But don't get excited. Don't get crazy. Look for all this other stuff that you have a better chance of finding. That's what you want. One thing about this too is when you're looking at this one, it's only showing a mint state 62. It says red. But if you find a higher grade, you are going to find a monster coin. If you find that double die reverse. And I honestly believe the double die reverse on that small date, there's more of them out there and it's not being found because people just aren't looking for it. So that's my take on it today. Hopefully you learned something. Hopefully this helped you. Hopefully it didn't bore you if you already know all this stuff. I mean, I get it. Some of you already know it. But man, this is important information that needs to get out there. So if you already know it, can you share it with someone that doesn't? Please do that. Please. Just share it with people who need to know this because I'm still seeing these posts in the group on the 1982 coins, the cents. I see it all the time. So not enough people are getting this information out there. So thanks for watching and have a great day.